Welcome back to the Come Home with Jennah podcast. Y'all, I am pumped for today. I have one of my very best friends and one of my very first friends in real estate here to share some pretty neat things with you today. We are going to be talking about what it's like to move to Texas as an adult, because some of y'all might want to be Texans. 328 people every single day are moving to DFW. I bet you might be one of them. She is also going to share with us how she assimilated here and what do you do when you move to a new town and you're looking for friends, community, a home, and everybody needs a place to go to dinner, right? So that is what we are going to be.
And drinks.
Obviously. So that is what we are going to be sharing with you today. Without further ado, this is my good friend, Angela Kreig. She does it all. She is in charge of biz dev for a national real estate firm. And she also runs a web series called Driven. Check it out. And one of my favorite Instagram accounts, Try This DFW. Angela.
Jennah.
Thank you for hanging out today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, let's get right into your deep, dark secret. You are a
Wait, which one?
Well, let's start with the cleanest, healthiest deep, dark secret.
Okay.
You are a California native.
I am. I'm a California girl through and through.
Yes.
Born and raised
in
Northern California.
And now you're in Texas.
I am in Texas.
Why?
Sometimes I ask myself that, especially in the summer. But I am in Texas because of a man, my ex-husband, no less. But I actually really wanted to move here. After living in Los Angeles, I graduated with my degree in journalism from Cal State Northridge, and I just realized I didn't want to live in an 800 square foot apartment for the rest of my life. And I said, after we got engaged, I said, we should move to Texas. That's where he was from and his parents were here. So we moved to Texas. And that was in 2003. So don't be giving me
it's been
any
a while.
dirty looks. I'm like one of the originals.
Yes.
And my parents moved out here
Fair.
a year after.
They're my neighbors.
So my parents are here as well. And they love Texas.
So what was the biggest difference that you noticed when coming here culturally?
Culturally speaking, it was actually pretty funny. And I'm sorry, Californians. I am a Californian and I will never deny it. But Texans are a lot friendlier. There you have it.
Yeah.
It's true. This is a simple story. I remember when my parents moved here, and I think it was my dad was going through a drive-through, and I think it was McDonald's. And he said, oh my gosh, I went through the drive-through and they were like being really nice. He didn't say like. That's my.
Are you a Valley girl?
Yeah. And so he said, they're so nice. They were asking me how I was. And that's Texans for you.
It's true. We care and we expect a response.
Yes, it's true.
Don't just say, fine. You're not fine then.
It's true.
And we'll know.
It's true. But, sometimes I'm not in the mood to talk. If I'm going through and I need a coffee or something so I'll be nice, but I don't really want to tell everybody sometimes
your life story?
Yeah, but I will.
I know. Truly, Angela has been known to make best friends with anybody at any restaurant. And I think that is one of the most fun parts about hanging out with you is all of the cool places that you know about that somehow me, having lived here for almost 30 years, I don't ever know the places to go, but you always do. So tell us a little bit about Try This DFW, which is your Instagram, and tell us how you got started doing that.
Okay, well, so Try This DFW, that's my Instagram, as you said. For me, I just want to preface, it's not about followers and it's not really about likes. That's not my motivation. That's not why I started it.
You're a community builder. It's just the truth.
To me, the beautiful thing about social media, and especially Instagram, because I'm a visual person, is being able to show photos and really highlight food and experience. And if you do go to my Instagram, you'll see there's a lot of dog stuff on there, some family stuff. I've got 2 daughters. So food, family, dogs.
So you got here because of a man
I got here because of a
And
man.
maybe you started Try This DFW
Because of a man.
What
What is wrong with me?
What is wrong with you?
Nothing, actually.
And you're single.
I'm inspired. I am. And I have a date story to tell.
Ooh,
Well, it was not really a date, but okay. So the Try This DFW started because I was on a date. This was several years ago, after my divorce, obviously, and it was in Texas. And I'm on a date, and he is a seafood chef. But yeah, so we're at Barley and Board, and I basically was talking about, I had been there before. He had not. Dallas person, and he's in Denton. I brought him to Denton, and so I just started kind of saying this is what we should get, and then we started talking about food and other restaurants, and he just was basically I don't know. It sounds weird to be impressed. He wasn't impressed, but he just was like, "Why are you not like doing something with this information?" I'm like, "Well, I do. I tell my friends." And he says like, "You should start an Instagram account." And I'm like, "Well, who's going to follow my Instagram account?" Then I realized, well, you know what? If I can just share one thing with somebody, I'd already had a personal Instagram account, which had occasional food and dogs and family. And so I said, okay, that's a great idea. And so I started, went on 2 dates with the guy, started Try This DFW, and it has been just such a joy and so easy and natural for me to be able to share my experiences on it. So I'm very thankful.
Love it.
I do appreciate the followers, but the important thing to me is just to connect and for people to see like, oh, I had no idea that was there. Oh, that looks delicious. I would have never tried that. I had a restaurant in Italy like one of my posts, and to me that was just the coolest thing. That's
cool.
All the way. I mean, that was just beautiful. So
I love it.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things about you, aside from telling me what to order,
I do, and I do that for my parents too. Like we go to a restaurant, I take my mom to stuff, and she just says she'll order for me. She knows.
I love it. Is the way you facilitate community. So one of the biggest questions I will get from my buyer clients when they are moving here from either out of state or from a city that isn't necessarily drivable is, how am I going to get a feel for the city that I'm looking at, aside from looking at the listing and looking at the houses? A lot of people are moving and they're very interested in community. So I think it works perfectly with Instagram to kind of meld those things together. But what would you advise my buyer clients when they come to a new place and want to know the local culture?
And I mean, and it's overwhelming because there are so many different pockets of DFW. So I would say let's step back into the good old days of just the internet and the websites. And there is a website. They're fairly new. It's called Check Out DFW. They almost copied me.
They stole your name.
Mine's been, yeah. So they're fairly new.
You're older.
But if you go, okay, thanks.
Oh, well, you are older, but you're the OG original.
That's true.
Foodie.
So they're great guys. They started Check Out DFW, and it is just completely filled not only with detailed information about all of the major cities in the DFW Metroplex, but also information about neighborhoods and events. And so as a realtor, definitely the place for them. It's a great resource for realtors like yourself to say, here's a website, and you can subscribe to their email, go back to old school, and just go online and check stuff out. So I highly recommend that site. Moving on from that, we're going back to Instagram because I love Yelp. I think Yelp is great. Actually, I'm lying. I don't love Yelp. That was like the bold-faced lie. I get Yelp. I understand it. I do. But when I'm looking for a restaurant, I use Instagram because I like to be able to see the food. That's the most important thing. And honestly, if I go to Yelp or, Google reviews, who knows what those people, you people, are putting on there. You may be in a bad mood. The server may have been having a bad day. You cannot judge off of one experience. This is like, it's such a
disservice?
No. We're blanking on words again. It's a subjective. There we go.
Yes.
It's a very subjective experience. So I don't think that you necessarily, I really don't ever go there to check that out. I don't want to. I want to experience it for myself, and what will inspire me to get there is going to Instagram. Now, there are a few accounts that, because my account is not that big, and it's not I don't make money from it. It's just a passion project of mine. But there are some people that are super successful doing it and impress me, and I just think they're wonderful. And I'd like to go ahead and just say which ones those are so they could, you guys can check them out. One of them is Ask Food Bitch.
Love it.
Right? The other one is Dallas Eat More. And actually, when I started mine, I believe she was starting hers. I remember kind of just seeing like, oh, like this is neat. And I've seen her grow and be consistent and have a perfect mix of her and her family involved. And just seeming so sweet and so genuine. And then the last one is Fort Worth Foodie, because we cannot forget Fort Worth.
No, we cannot. Cowtown.
Do not forget Fort Worth. And there are a lot of Fort Worth Instagrams, but the Fort Worth Foodie, that's kind of hard to say.
It is.
At Fort Worth
There's a lot of
Foodie.
F's. Nice
Again,
alliteration.
Great, just great content, great photos. Her personality comes through. And so all these 3 accounts are run by women.
Love it. So I think it is just so wonderful because when you move to a new place, food really shows off the culture of the place. So you are absolutely going to find the best Tex-Mex here in Texas. And
there's a lot of Tex-Mex.
Best barbecue. But everybody has their own spin on things. So I really agree. I think Instagram is such a great place to sample a community before even visiting. And honestly, I might start there if I were looking to move to a new location just to see, okay, here's the restaurants they have. Here's the style that they're putting out on social media. I think it really empowers restaurateurs, and it really allows you to see from a local lens. And that really impacts people's decisions on community. The other thing that I love when you're coming to a new place is to just make sure that you understand who to ask what to. So a lot of people might not consider this, but as a realtor, I am not allowed to talk about some things because they could be misconstrued as, discrimination. So if you're going to ask me about a school district, I'm going to point you to greatschools.org. So I just think that there's tons of resources out there, and there's just so much more to making a move than looking at a house that you like that might fit your needs at the time. One of the other things I just love about you is your ability to immediately get connected and facilitate community. So all of your passion projects are kind of built around those things, and they really highlight not only individual communities, but also the people in those communities.
Yes.
So when you talk to somebody that's moving here or making a decision on which city to pick, because there really are so many, and I think most of the major areas in the U.S. are like that. There's always going to be a smaller neighborhood or a suburb. So tell me a little bit about how you went on your journey moving from California to Texas and really getting enmeshed is really the wrong word because ew.
Yeah.
But how did you build community quickly and then also make sure that you chose a place where you could really feel at home and build a life?
Wow, that was a lot, Jennah.
Per usual.
I'm going to sum it up.
Okay.
So when I moved here, my ex-mother-in-law was in the title business. So I quickly became fully integrated into the title business, which is the real estate business. There are a lot of realtors. You may know how many. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm not a numbers person, but there are a lot. I am a people person.
Yes.
And everywhere I go, I see a realtor that I know. So being in that industry definitely helped. And also because, like you're wanting to highlight everything you can to educate your buyers. And so, realtors are really a great resource for that. So naturally being in that industry, I fell into that, and that's pretty much that. And then my love of Instagram, a tip is to follow hashtags. So if you're a vegan, follow hashtag vegan Dallas vegan, hashtag all the things you're interested, hashtag Texas barbecue, hashtag, Texas Asian, Dallas Asian, Fort Worth, all the things. That's Jennah's favorite saying, by the way, and I hate it. All the things you follow, and you'll get that information just coming to you. You just log into your Instagram and you'll see stuff, and you'll just start saying, "Oh my gosh, I got to go there. I got to go there." Save it.
Yes.
Little flag on the bottom right-hand corner. Save that so you remember. And start a list in your notes. That's what I did on my phone. I'd have a list in my notes of where I want to go, and it just grows and grows and grows, and I cross it off, and more places start popping up, and so.
I love that. So we've kind of covered the infamous move from California, just like so many other people are experiencing right now. We've talked a little bit about Try This DFW and what an incredible resource Instagram can be if you are moving to a new location and wanting to get a deeper, more comprehensive feel for a community. So I guess we might be at Texas tip time.
I think so.
Yeah. So Texas tips is when I ask Texans for tips about living here, moving here. So tell me your Texas tip.
Okay, Texas tips. Well, I am hot. I'm hot right now.
You are
it's
hot.
Very cool in the studio. I'm still sweating. So have an auto start on your car.
I love it. I think.
Oh,
yes. Tell me.
I just want to say, y'all is really better than you guys. Or
Agreed.
Whatever the East Coast people say. It took me a while to start to say y'all, and
That's how you know you're a Texan.
Is such a nice, easy word to say.
Can we talk about the grammar of y'all, though?
No, grammar nerd. We cannot.
Well, I'm going to because it's my show. So if you were going to write y'all, it is Y''ALL. And here's why. Because we are joining you and all together. So that's probably... We are. That's
thank
just
you for
true.
that. Not weird, random knowledge that you know, but you are correct. It is Y''ALL.
But I also think that y'all, as soon as that becomes part of your lingo, I think that's when you know you've officially made it here and you are at home in Texas. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, Angela.
You're so welcome.
Been so much fun.
Thank you for having me, Jennah, with an H.
I love it. Thank you guys for joining us. I hope this was helpful for you. Remember, send me your questions. Drop them at my website, comehomewithjennah.com. And do not forget to like and subscribe and share with a friend, especially a friend that might make a move at some point in their life. That's all of you. Bye.